So I wanted to share one of the things that I really love to do besides working, spending time with my kids, family time, is to travel. I love going to Europe and traveling to different countries. I got lucky enough to be able to go to Spain and the south of France last summer. So we flew into Barcelona, Spain, and stayed there maybe approximately a week or so. And during that time, got to see the town, went to flamenco shows and got to see that. That was pretty interesting. We took Tapas tour in Spain. They eat a lot of tapas. So basically they're like tapas bar. They're small bars. You walk in and they have glass cases where they're like finger foods with sometimes with bread. And then they can put salmon on them. They can put shrimp on them. They can put all kinds of different types of foods on the tapas, and you basically eat them, pick them up with your finger, eat them with your finger. You walk in and you basically look at the case and you kind of pick what you want to eat, and then you drink a lot of cava there. Cava is something like a champagne, and you know, like you hear in Europe, everybody drinks wine, one thing or another, right? It's all alcohol, and you drink that, have your tapas with that. Also went to see the Sagrada Familia Cathedral. Now this was really interesting, and you'll see in the pictures that this is a cathedral that's been under construction for about 140 years. And obviously, it's not the same builders because 140 years, nobody lives that long. But nevertheless, they created the plans, they created the design, and they were able to continue the building. And when we were there, they still had tower cranes up. They weren't finished with it. They figured it'd take another couple of years to actually finish the whole cathedral. And you can see from the pictures, the inside, it's just massive columns holding up the cathedral. From the outside, there's so much detail to look at. It's really neat to be able to see it in person. And you can see why it would have taken 140 years to build, because of all the detail, all the stained glass that's in there. Truly marvelous thing to watch and to see. Now, from Barcelona, we flew in a smaller plane to San Sebastian. San Sebastian is by the sea and super nice town, and all you do is just walk around there. You'll see in the pictures how all the buildings are old. We had good weather. It was cloudy, a little bit of rain, but not too bad. Walked, toured, ended up going through another tapas tour. So a little bit of a different flavor because it's a different city, but still enjoyed it. Also took a private sailing trip. So that was really cool, being able to go out sailing. I love boats, I love boating, but I had never been sailing. And it was really neat to be able to see how the wind pushes the boat with the sails, and then the way they switch the sails back and forth to be able to change directions of the boat. And also we did a wine cave tour there. So we were able to see how they make the wines, the different types of wines, the whites, the reds. Really, really interesting to see how that works. They kind of explained everything and how they put them in the barrel, how long they stay in the barrel, and just learned a whole lot and tasted a lot of wine, actually. And then from San Sebastian, drove out to Bordeaux in France. It was maybe like a 3-hour drive. I stayed at a chateau. I had never been to a chateau, but it's really neat to be able to see the chateau and then all the vineyards, just acres and acres and acres of vineyards that you see. It wasn't grape picking season, and that wasn't until August, but nevertheless, you kind of get to see how they live in the chateaus and how the different families own these large vineyards and produce the wine and the champagne out there. Excuse me. Then we took, of course, because you're there, took a vineyard tour and got to see the different chateaus and vineyards throughout the whole area. Also toured the city in a tuk-tuk. Now, a tuk-tuk is a kind of like a motorcycle with a sidecar, and there's a driver that kind of drives you around the city. I love motorcycles. I used to ride, and so I enjoyed it. Had a great time going through the city that way, and then basically flew back from Bordeaux to Barcelona, and then flew back home from there. Was there maybe, I think it was close to a 2-week trip, and really enjoyed it. And it was my second time to France, but I had never been to south of France. So if I can go back, I'd go back again. But this year, I'm going to try to go to a different country, perhaps Croatia or Serbia. Japan is on my list as well. And so I try to do one big trip a year, maybe two, also with my boys, but their schedule is very difficult to kind of line up right now. But either way, there's more to life than just work and hanging out in your town. And it's nice to be able to go out and see the world, see how everybody else lives, see the architecture, taste the different food, different environment. It's just neat. So thank you for checking it out. Hopefully I'll have another trip for you to look at soon.